Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Garrett over here bringing you another Minecraft World War II Italian Navy ship. Before I go into this name, I want to go ahead and apologize in advance because I'm going to absolutely butcher it, but it is Luigi di Savoia Duca degli Abruzzi. This was an Italian Duca degli Abruzzi-Class light cruiser, which served with the Regia Maria during World War II. After the war, she was retained by the Marina Militare and decommissioned in 1961. She was built by the OTO at La Spezia and named after Prince Luigi Amedeo, an Italian explorer and admiral of World War I. The cruisers were the final version of the Continuum class and were larger and better protected than their predecessors. The armament also increased by 2 extra 152mm guns. Triple turrets replaced twins in A and Y positions, thus making them the most heavy armored light cruisers of Italy during World War II. The machinery was also revised, which led to these ships having a slightly slower maximum speed than their predecessors. The ship itself, in particular, participated in the Battle of Calabria, and participated in the Battle of Cape Matapan, and she was damaged by a torpedo on November 22nd, 1941, but repaired, and then she was interned by the Allies after the Italian armistice, and later served with the Italian Navy afterwards against German raiders. So yeah, the ship itself, pretty interesting one. This is kind of like the peak light cruiser for the Italian Navy of World War II, I would say. It's a really cool looking cruiser, and you can definitely tell it's modernized compared to its some of the previous cruisers and all that stuff. It's definitely that modern World War II light cruiser. Pretty cool build, should be a fun one to add. We've slowly been building up our Italian Navy with the addition of the Ariane Aquila just a few weeks ago, and hopefully we'll see some more and more Italian ships coming down the line. And as you can see with future plots we have set up ahead of us, we do have quite a bit coming. So should be a fun build, and again, we're just going to continue to ramp up our Italian fleet. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here, taking a quicker look at the ship. So going ahead and getting started with, we have the front bow of the ship. Of course, we have that candy cane striping, which was standard on all these Italian ships. Then we had our first 2 turrets. We have the conning tower, all the detail around it, some anti-aircraft guns. We have our secondary guns. Then we have our funnels. Funnel section here, we have the 2 AA guns, and then we also have the just some like rangefinders or something of that sort, gun directors. And then we have some lifeboats here in the mid-deck section, some more anti-aircraft and secondary guns. Some of the later versions of the ship had catapults for seaplanes. This version I did in particular doesn't, and this is based a lot off the War Thunder version, so the earlier version of the ship. Then we have the rear back here. We have another mass like that, and we have our 2 rear turrets and the rear of the ship. So overall, pretty cool ship. Should make a cool one to add to your Italian navies. I think this is our first light cruiser. We've done some heavy cruisers, some battleships, but this here is our first light one. With that though, let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer of the tutorial, we're going to be going ahead and start with layer 1. Now, before we go ahead and dive into placing blocks, I do want to go ahead and mention real quickly that we want to make sure that we position this properly with the water. You can see here the blue concrete representing that water level, and you can see where we have our green started to represent the start of our hole, which is going to be sitting right on line with it. So just make sure that's all correct and good to go, and we can go and get started here. Now we're going to start with this green terracotta block. We're going to go and place down a green or mossy cobblestone wall forward, and then a green stained glass pane after that. We're going to then go back from this green terracotta block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Green terracotta blocks back, then 2 dark prismarine top slabs, 2 mossy cobblestone walls, and then a dark oak trapdoor there on the very end. We're going to place down an upside down stair on both sides of this green terracotta block, and then we want to go ahead and go back with 2 lightning rods from those stairs. We're also going to go ahead and place down a birchwood slab that's going to come off those end rods like that to both sides. Once that's done, we're going to take our green terracotta, we're going to go forward from the stairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26 blocks, a mossy cobblestone wall, and 2 green stained glass panes to bring us to the front, and we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. So I'm going to go and do this a little bit quicker. So just like that. And then after that is all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak trapdoor on the side of this green terracotta block here, and same thing over here. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of green stained glass panes going all the way forward to this point here, and we should have 5 more blocks of space. After that, we're going to place down 3 dark oak wood trapdoors. So the glass panes here, total wise, we'll go ahead and get a count for that, should be a total of 19 blocks. So we have 19 blocks here of our green stained glass panes, and we're going to go ahead and go to the other side here, and we're going to go ahead and just repeat the same thing we did on the other side over to this side. So again, really straightforward and easy stuff. And we get that brought all the way back, and that is going to complete everything we have for layer 1 of the build. Here is a top-down view of what that should look like. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down an andesite wall on top of this glass pane, and then we want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 stone blocks back. We're going to place down an andesite wall to both sides of that 4th block, and then we're going to go forward of 2 glass panes on both sides. We then want to take our stone blocks, and we're going to go ahead and go back from the walls here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 of these stone blocks back, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So just like that, and also you can optionally fill in the center row here. You don't really need to, but for the sake of the tutorial, we'll fill this in as well. And I do believe there is one block that we need to make sure is a deep slate block, and that's going to be this one right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That 7th block back from that wall should be a deep slate tile slab, as this will be for the decking and just kind of help keep that color a little bit more consistent under there for the turret once we get that next turret put in. Then on the back here, we're going to go and take our stripped jungle wood. We're going to place down a row of 3. And try to make sure your jungle wood is all facing the same direction, so you avoid having some weird lines or any problems like that. You can see here, if you have it oriented the wrong way, that it will basically act up. So again, just try to make sure you orientate them to go in the same way. You can see I have mine going basically front to back. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 more rows of these. So we have basically 4 rows of 3 in total here. Then we want to take iron trapdoors. We're going to place them on the last 2 blocks like this, and we can use our debug stick. Debug stick can be obtained for Java players by going ahead and typing the command /give space @p Minecraft : debug _ stick. So this command right here, and press enter will give you this glowing stick. What you can do is you can left click these trapdoors till you get selected open false. We'll right click those, set those to true, and they will sit flat against the side of the blocks. An alternative to that could be using birchwood trapdoors, but for our tutorial here we'll be using the debug stick since we're on Java. We're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 glass panes forward, and same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone upside down stair to both sides, and then taking our light gray stainless panes, we're going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 glass panes forward, and same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 glass panes forward. We then want to take our iron trapdoors, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and over here same thing, 1, 2, 3. And we'll just use our debug stick here again, or birchwood trapdoors as an alternative. After that, on the back of the ship here, we're going to go ahead and place down a stripped jungle wood block here in the center, and then we want to place down a stone block to both sides. We're going to go ahead and then place down an additional 1, 2, and 3 jungle wood blocks back, and then we're going to place down a set of 2 of andesite walls along the sides here, and then a row of 2 of light gray stained glass panes. On the very back here, we're just going to place down a stone block, and that's going to finish off the back of the ship there. After that's all done, that is going to be everything we needed to do here for this layer, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer of the build, which will be layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down a smooth quartz slab on top of this wall up here in the front, and then a birchwood sign, followed by a wither skeleton skull to both sides of that slab. Behind that, we're going to place down a red nether brick slab and then another skeleton skull to the sides there. We're going to go ahead and place down another quartz slab, and this time a wither skeleton skull at a slight angle to both sides. Then we want to place down a dragon head on the center here, and that's going to be followed with a skeleton skull to both sides of the dragon head. We're going to go then place down a smooth quartz slab and then another brick slab to both sides. This will be followed with a polished blackstone stair here, and then a smooth quartz slab to both sides. We're going to go then take our deep slate slabs. We're going to place down a row of 3 across, then 1 to both sides of that center space there. And then we're just going to go ahead and go along the sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. Then taking our birchwood signs, starting on this red nether brick slab, we're going to place down birchwood signs on the side here of these slabs. We have 3, 4, 5, and 6. And over here, same thing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone block here in the center, and then another stone block, and then a birchwood fence gate, which will open up toward the front of the ship like that. Once that's done there, we want to go ahead and then place down a stone stair instead of this full block. So instead of this full block here, we're actually swapped out for a stone upside down stair. And underneath that stone upside down stair, we should place a deep slate tile block underneath it. And also this stone block here, we're going to swap out as well for that. We're going to place down an andesite wall in this spot, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 stone blocks down the center here. Going back up to the front, we're going to place down a stone block to both sides here like that, and then we're going to place down a deep slate slab as well to the sides there. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 skeleton skulls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one right in this corner here at a slight angle like that to both sides. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down another stone stair like this to the sides, and then a stone stair coming off that stair with a birchwood fence gate coming off the front of the stair. And same thing over here. We're also going to go ahead and place down a deep slate slab to both sides and a skeleton skull on top of those glass panes. After that, we want to go ahead and place down a glass pane to both sides here, and we're going to place down a stone upside down stair coming off that glass pane. And then going ahead and going back from that glass pane, we're going to place down 1 and 2 more, so you have a total of 3. And then we're just going to place down a light gray bed on this glass pane to the sides there for the torpedo launchers. We're going to go ahead and place down a andesite wall here, and then 1 out to the side, same thing over here, and then 1 wall going back. We're going to go ahead and then place down another andesite wall, so you have a total of 3 going back. Then we're going to place down a stone stair like this to both sides, a birchwood fence gate coming off the front of the stair and open up toward it. We're also going to place down a birchwood sign to both sides of the stair like that for your secondary gun batteries. Then we're going to place down a stone upside down stair here, and then 1, 2, 3 andesite walls back along the sides, and then we're going to place down 1 andesite wall on the end here, and then we're going to place down light gray stainless panes to the sides there of it like that. Once that's all done, we want to go ahead and then place down a lever and an item frame underneath it, lever over here, and item frame underneath it. The item frame is going to be for Java players. We can add that item frame underneath the lever, but if you're not on Java, you won't be able to do that feature. Then on the back here, we're just going to place down a stone upside down stair, then a stone stair coming off of it. We're going to place down birchwood signs on the sides of these stairs and on both sides. And then we want to place down a birchwood fence gate coming off the front of the stair, opened up toward the rear of the ship. With that all done, we're going to place down an item frame here to both sides of these fence gates, and then we're going to place down a white bed in the item frame. After that, we want to go ahead and grab a redstone repeater, and we're going to place down a redstone repeater with the notches spread apart like so. And we'll also place down a row of 1, 2, 3 acacia wood pressure plates, and same thing over here on this side. Between the middle pressure plates, we're going to place down another redstone repeater with the notches spread apart. Then 1 and 2 stone buttons back, and then an item frame on these 2 glass panes with white beds in the item frames like that. Once we have that done, we're going to then place down an end rod here, and then an iron bar on top of it for the little rear mast there. And that is going to wrap up everything we have here for this layer. Here is a top-down view of what that should look like once you have everything in place and good to go. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we'll be moving into layer number 4. For layer 4 to start with, we're going to place down an end rod here on top of this quartz slab and then an iron bar on top of it. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone stair on top of this wall here and an upside down stair directly behind it. We'll then place down birchwood signs on the sides of these stairs like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a birchwood fence gate coming off the front of the stair and open up toward the front like that. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a andesite wall here, then a stone full block, and another andesite wall. We're going to go ahead and also take our levers. We're going to place down a lever to both sides, and we want to go ahead and then place down a item frame on top of those blocks like that as well. Once we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone slab here, and then a andesite wall to both sides. We're also going to go ahead and place down a gray carpet on top of this block, a stone block here, and a light gray stainless pane to both sides of that block. We're going to go ahead and also place down an anvil on top of these stairs, and around the 3 sides of the anvil we're going to place down birchwood signs. So just like so. After that's all done, we want to go ahead and then take our gray carpet. We're going to place down a row of 3 across and then a second row of 3 after that. We're going to place down a stone block here and then 2 more gray carpet out to the sides. After that's done, we're going to place down a birchwood stair in the center and then a birchwood slab back. We're going to follow this up with 2 smooth quartz slabs, 2 quartz slabs to both sides like that. This center space here, we're going to place down a redstone repeater, separate the notches from each other like so, then a lever on top of these 2 stairs, and then we're going to place down a item frame underneath those levers. We're going to go ahead and also place down 2 quartz slabs here on top of those walls, and in the center here, we're going to place down a stone block like that, and a lever coming off that stone block flicked upwards like so. We're going to go ahead and go back from the stone block an additional stone full block, and then we're going to place down a stone upside down stair, a regular stone stair, and then we're going to place down a fence gate that's going to come off the stair opened up toward the front, as well as birchwood signs on the side of these 2 stairs. So just like that, to both sides there, and that's going to finish off what we have for that. And with that, that's going to include everything we have here for, actually real quick, before we conclude this layer, we do have some iron trapdoors that are going to go right here in front of those walls. However, with that all out of the way, that is going to conclude everything we have for layer number 4 of the build, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to layer number 5. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a stone stair on top of this wall here, and then we want to go ahead and place down a item frame that's going to go on the front of the stair here, and we're going to go ahead and then place down a black bed in the item frame like that with a birchwood sign on the side of the stair. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone block going back from it, and then skeleton skulls on the sides of those blocks like that. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood fence gate here, open it up toward the back, and then we want to place down a iron trapdoor to both sides like that. We're then going to go ahead and place down a birchwood sign on the side here of those slabs. After that's done, we're going to place down a stone slab to both sides, a iron trapdoor there in the center, and then birchwood signs wrapped around the sides of the slab, the slabs there on the sides. Then we're going to place down a stone block on top of this one here, a stone upside down stair to both sides, and then just a skeleton skull on top of these anvils. After that, we're going to place down another stone block on top of this one here. And then going back to our rear kind of conning tower, we're going to place down a lever, or actually, sorry, a end rod on top of that lever, and then a andesite wall here. And then behind that, we want to place down a iron trapdoor. And then we're going to go ahead and place down a item frame with a snowball in the item frame, and then we're going to place down a birchwood sign on both sides of that iron trapdoor. And that right there is going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 5 of the build. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to layer number 6. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a smoker on top of this stair here, and then we're going to place down an andesite wall directly behind it. We then want to place down skeleton skulls on the sides of the walls and block here, and then a birchwood fence gate coming off the front of the smoker opened up toward it. We're going to then place down a fence gate on top of this one, opening it up toward the back. And then we want to place down a polished black stone block on top of this stone block, and same thing right here. We are going to go ahead and also place down a lever on top of these stone upside down stairs, and then an item frame underneath those if you're on Java. Once that's done, going to the back here, we're going to place down a birchwood fence post that's going to sit on top of this wall here. And then we want to go ahead and place down a block that's going to come off the fence post by 2. Delete that first block, and then we're going to place down a skeleton skull on the back of that block, just like that. And once we have that all finished there, that's going to complete pretty much what we have for this layer for the time being. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and now just moving into our last final layers of the build. Moving into our last final layers, we have layers 7 through 12. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone block on top of this wall here, and then we want to go ahead and place down a tripwire hook to both sides of that stone block. We're also going to go ahead and place down a light gray stainless pane coming off the front of the block there, and we're also going to go ahead and place down a flower pot on top of this fence gate like that. Once that's done, on top of this fence gate here, we're going to place down another one going up, and then another one, so you have a total of 2 more that go up, so overall, this is a stack of 4. We then want to go ahead and go to the back here. Now, if you're not on Java, I would recommend a skeleton skull. If you are on Java, we're going to place down a block coming off this wall, this fence gate by a block space. We're going to place down a lever in that space, and then left-click this lever with our debug stick till we get selected facing. Should say a direction. We'll rotate this around till it connects up to this fence gate, so it should look like that. Then to the sides there of that lever, we're going to go ahead and place down a end rod to both sides, like so. Once that's done, we're going to place down a stone upside down stair on top here, and then taking our end rods, we're going to go ahead and go up 1 and 2 end rods up, and then a flower pot on the very top there. We're also going to go ahead and place down an iron trapdoor on top of this stone block here, and then we're going to take our iron bars and place down a row of 3 with the center on top of that fence gate. So just like that. After that is all done, we're going to go ahead and move to our rear mast. For this, we're going to be going ahead and placing down another brick fence post on top of this birchwood fence post, and then we want to place down an upside down polished blackstone stair on top of it. We're going to go ahead and place down an end rod to both sides here like so, and then we want to go ahead and place down an end rod coming off this nether brick fence post, and then a end rod that goes back from it like so. We're also going to go ahead and place down a chain here that's going to be coming off the back of the stair. At this point in time, we'd also want to go ahead and grab our barrier blocks. This can be obtained on Java by typing the command /give at p. You can just type in barrier and it should be good to go. And press enter and you'll get this kind of invisible looking block. Now you can also get this block on Bedrock. It's called a structure block, so you can also use those for the same thing. Basically, you just want 2 invisible blocks here, and you're going to go and put down buttons on both sides of those blocks, like that. Then we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 of these barrier blocks, going up to that end rod there. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place down a stone button on the side here of this barrier block, and then buttons wrapped around these 2 sides of the top 2. So, just like that. After that, we want to go ahead and then take our end rods. We're going to go ahead and go up 1, 2, 3, 4 end rods, and then an end rod to both sides of this top one. So just like that. Once we have that done, we're going to go forward from this end rod, 1 and 2 chains, and we're going to place down a skeleton skull coming off the chain there. We're going to go ahead and drop down with 2 more chains, just like that. And after we have that all done, we're going to place down a block coming off that fence post, a skeleton skull coming off that block. We're going to delete that block like that, and then just an end rod on top of the skull like that to go ahead and finish that crane off. Now once that's all finished, we're going to go ahead and then place down a barrier block coming off those end rods, and then we're going to place down a button underneath them. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 barrier blocks going forward, and then a button on the side here and a button on below. Same thing over here, side and below. So like that. Then we're going to place down another 2 barrier blocks. Same thing, button on the side, button below. And over here, same thing, button on the side of the first one and below on the second. And we're going to just continue this all the way down until we connect up to our end rods that we place down on our front mass. And just like that, it connects up to our end rods. And again, we have a button on the bottom and the side of the first one. So just like that. And then once we have that all done, one of the last final things I want to do here is I also want to go ahead and throw in a daylight detector that's going to be on this gray carpet right there. But anyways, once you have that all finished there, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layers 7 through 12, and that is going to complete my design here for this ship. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name again. You guys know the ship, but that's going to conclude my tutorial for it. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this ship and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for the build. This can be anything from the side of the build to my channel or this video if this is pretty social media sites. Again, a big thanks to Derek Frost Bushbrook for commissioning this build, and if you guys are interested in commissioning a build for yourself, feel free to send me an email at gary2x4@gmail.com or reach out to me on Discord, and we can go ahead and get over pricing and all that stuff. So definitely feel free to reach out to me on there, and I look forward to maybe working with some of you guys and building some of your own commissions. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Gary2x4, and I will see you guys next time.